Yes, we need a little Christmas right this very minute. Ah, select all, delete. This just isn't working. God? You there, God? What am I supposed to say this year?
You called?
You're darn right I called. You really expect me to talk about tidings of great joy this year?
Of course, it's Christmas. You do remember that the Christmas story is about good news and hope and all those things, right?
Yes, I know that. It just doesn't seem to fit this year. I mean, celebrate? Good times? Come on, you have to be joking. Have you been watching the news these past few months?
So times are tough. That doesn't change the story.
Times are tough? That's an understatement. We're in the middle of a global pandemic that has killed thousands, if not millions. Because of that, we can't gather together with friends and family to share our tidings of comfort and joy. Christmas services are only being held online. People are lonely and isolated.
Yes, and?
You want more? Well, all right. How about earlier this year, when the bottom fell out of oil prices? Or the shutdowns related to COVID that left people underemployed and businesses struggling? Then there's those persistent issues. Climate change, racism, discrimination against LGBTQ folk. So many, many more. These are not good times. That's not even close.
So, where does it say that the Christmas story is about good times?
Pardon?
Where does it say that Christmas is about good times?
Well, I guess it doesn't.
Of course it doesn't. Christmas is about all times. Christmas comes when things are going really well and when it's all falling apart. Christmas is about hope and promise and joy. When do you need those more than right now?
Well, yeah, but...
But nothing. What happens at Christmas? What do you talk about?
Well, there's the story, of course. You remember the baby in the manger?
You mean the baby born to peasants who had nothing, not even a place to stay, whose lives were simple to the point of basic? Go on.
Well, then there's the angels appearing to shepherds.
Messengers from me to folk who were among the lowest of the low in their place and time. Messengers bringing good news to people who had nothing. Messengers telling them that I am active in the world. Messengers bringing good news of great joy for all people to the world, where so many were struggling just to get by. Go on.
Well, I guess that's about it. But the story's so old, everybody knows it. What do I tell people that's new?
You is overrated. I mean, you is good sometimes, lots of times, but sometimes new and innovative gets in the way. Think about that story again. Yes, it's a pretty simple scene, but you must see that there is good news for the world today in that story.
Well, maybe. But it seems odd to talk about joy and celebration these days. What is there to celebrate? Just feels like all our celebrations have been stolen from us.
Lots. Even when life is going badly, there are small things to celebrate once in a while. And remember, celebrations don't have to be fancy and noisy. They can be pretty simple and quiet too. Christmas isn't about noisy and fancy. Christmas is about remembering that I am breaking into the world, that I am sharing this life you live. It is worth the celebration.
But joy? So many people are unhappy, and anxious, and lonely, and scared. What about joy?
Hey, joy isn't about happiness. Christmas joy has nothing to do with how much you laughed yesterday.
It doesn't?
No. Christmas joy is about recognizing that something is special is happening. Christmas joy is the rush you feel when you remember that you are not alone. Christmas joy is in the promise that I am active in the world. It isn't about happiness. It goes much deeper. It's about faith and hope. Joy to the world. Listen to the angel song again and think about that story. Who is in it? What happens to them? I told you what was important about it.
The story? Yeah, I told you we know the story. We know the story. A baby in a manger. Angels and shepherds. Oh. You mean all that stuff about the couple who had nothing and messengers to the lowest of the low?
Now you're getting it. Do you maybe see what needs to be said this year?
Sort of, but
I told you no buts. That song you were singing, did you pay attention to the part where it says, for I've grown a little leaner, grown a little colder, grown a little sadder, grown a little older?
yeah, that was the part I found really meaningful this year.
Well, the important part is right after that. Think about what it says. I need a little angel sitting on my shoulder, need a little Christmas now. For we need a little music, need a little laughter, need a little singing, ringing through the rafter. And we need a little snappy, happy ever after. Need a little Christmas now.
Yeah, that matches what we need to hear this year. We need a little Christmas joy and hope and promise. We need to remember that angels are still singing to us about good news of great joy for all people. And we need to sing. We need to join that song of peace on earth, goodwill to all.
And the fact that these aren't good times.
That's why we need to hear it. Just like that story is full of people who live hard lives being reminded that you're with them. We need to be reminded that we're not alone. Everything going wrong in the world today, even then, we can tell the story again and again and again. And remember that you continue to break into the world.
Now you've got it. That's Christmas. That's what Christmas is all about. I really don't care whether anyone believes that Luke got the story right. Arguing about what really happened when Jesus was born isn't what Christmas is all about. Christmas is about the present and the future, not the past. Christmas is all about people being able to recognize that I am active in the world around them. Christmas is a promise that things can get better.
Thanks for that. If there was ever a time when we need a little Christmas, this is one of them. Joy to the world. God is here. We are not alone. Let's all celebrate. Come on.